Hello, I'm Dr. Wright. This is Accounting for Executives. This first video is an introduction to the course, as well as a brief tour of the Canvas platform to help you get started in finding the things that you need to work on during the first week of class. Alright, so I'm in the modules section of the Canvas platform for the class, and there's a lot of boilerplate stuff in here you've probably seen in some of your other classes, but there's one unique thing, and it's right here. The schedule office hours appointment. If you go in there, you'll find a link here, and that'll take you to the option to book an appointment with me. There's 15-minute block, 30, 45-minute, and 60-minute blocks. You can pick those blocks on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 1,100 hours to 1,300 hours. If those times aren't convenient for you, feel free to send me an email. We can set up a special time. Or send me a text message. Just let me know who you are and what you'd like to do. I'm pretty flexible. We can probably find a common time that we can meet. So just let me know. Alright, so back to modules. So again, some of the stuff's pretty boilerplate. If you want to look through it, if you haven't already done that, please do that. Alright. Then the first section you see after the boilerplate stuff is the icebreaker activities. That's where you'll find this video, so there's a link to it if you want to watch it a second time. The course syllabus is the first assignment that you have due on the first day of class on Monday. And this is just my way of making sure that you've looked at the syllabus and it brings attention to things that I think are especially important that I want you to look at and examine. So it's just a simple 10-question quiz that's based on elements that you'll find in the syllabus. If you don't have a copy of the syllabus, I recommend you print it out and have it in a binder of some sort or folder of some sort so it's handy for the class. So I put a copy of it here, and I also have it under the syllabus link. And the second assignment that's due the first week of class, which is due on Tuesday, is just a brief introduce yourself post on the discussion board. So this will allow us to all get together and meet each other and just share some information about ourselves. And then the last icebreaker activity is a rubrics quiz. And the reason why I like to give you a rubrics quiz is oftentimes students forget to look at them before they complete and submit an assignment. And if they had looked at the rubric, they would have seen something that would have improved their score. So I encourage you to read these rubrics, and that's why I've developed the quiz, to help you to do that and to cover what I feel are maybe some of the most important things that I often see students get tripped up on. So take a look at that quiz. If you're looking for the rubrics, there's links to them right here on the Canvas platform. Again, I highly recommend you go in here. There's 3 rubrics, print them out, and stick them in a binder or a folder so that as you're working throughout the course, you have access to those quickly. Alright, now then, the rest of the class, rest of the platform, you'll notice you have Module 1 and a case. So let me talk about that. There's 8 different cases for the class. They're all real companies, although some of the names have been changed. And in these companies, you're going to be studying the concepts and theories and formulas and the strategic integration that I'm expecting you to accomplish will come about as a result of working on these cases. So they're pretty rich exercises, and they really allow us to get into some pretty interesting conversations. I have a lot of fun teaching this class, and students tell me that they really enjoy the case structure. So the first thing you'll notice underneath the platform is there's these headers. So overview, then learning resources, then assignments are the headers. So anything that I grade will be under the assignment section. And then anything that is what I would consider a resource that you need to explore or work on or watch or read is going to be under the learning resources. And then everything you need is also here under the module overview. So if you look at that, it talks you through a brief introduction to the case, and then the learning objectives that are from your syllabus. So when you do your syllabus quiz, you'll see all these. MLO means Module Learning Outcome. And these are all linked back to the various areas that I'm assessing within the course. And then here's all the things you're going to be doing in the first week. So there's the icebreaker activities that I've already reviewed with you. Of course, I want you to purchase the book. And then for each one of the cases, I've designed a workbook. So let's take a quick peek at that. It's a Word document. I recommend you print these out because you'll use them. So it's probably a good idea to have a 3-ring binder and then have a tab in that binder for every one of your cases. And that's a good place to keep the syllabus and the grading rubrics. Alright, so you'll notice the workbook includes also the learning objectives for this case, an overview of the case, and then the key terms that are relevant and a definition for those terms. You'll also find different formulas in here. So for instance, break-even point formulas, right? So fixed costs, I'll teach you what all these terms mean in the videos that I've given you. Fixed cost divided by the contribution margin per unit is the formula. So these are really valuable for helping to support your learning. And again, I highly recommend you print out the workbooks and you read through them and look at them. And there's also additional links at the end of each workbook that go into a little bit more detail. So there's an absolute ton of stuff on the internet that you could explore for learning the various aspects that you're going to learn in this class. These are optional activities. If you have time to do it and you want to go a little deeper into it, then by all means explore these additional links. There's also a recommended textbook that I included in the syllabus. Again, totally optional, not required. Everything that you really need to be successful in the class, I'm going to provide for you. And then the only thing you have to buy, the only required textbook, is the casebook. Okay. And then notice on this first one, there's a chart at the end. So this is going to be really important. You're going to see me talk about this chart in one of the videos. Alright, so that's roughly what you'll see in each one of the workbooks is terms, formulas, additional resources, as well as maybe some graphs from time to time. Okay. Then the first case I did post, just in case somebody didn't get the textbook ordered on time, so I did post a PDF file of the case for the first case. And then here's the template, the Excel template that you're going to be using to solve some of the number problems that you're given in the case. So when you got to determine things like profitability or run break-even points or do sensitivity analysis, you're going to be working in Excel. And I've given you videos that teach you how to do it in Excel, so you can watch me walk through it step by step. Most students tell me they learn a lot about Excel, even if they have basic Excel skills. A lot of people expand their skills. So I'm going to take you through all the basic elements in Excel, at least the majority of them, and then into several intermediate skills in Excel as well. For each one of the cases, I've designed 3 video lessons. So the first one kind of walks you through the terms and the formulas and how to think about the various aspects and theories that you're learning. And then the second one goes through the case with you, so the written elements of the case and how it's structured and what it all means. And the third one is an instructional video on how to walk through the Excel. Okay, so it's going to take you a little bit of time, but probably the first week will feel like the hardest week because you're getting used to how I have it set up and all the work that you have to get done. But then we get into a rhythm and it goes pretty well. So students haven't complained to me about it being too much work. It's just right. And it's really high impact, so I think you'll get a lot out of it. All right, then once you finish that Excel file, you're going to post it to a discussion board space and just make a brief comment about what you learned, what you struggled with, and insights that you gleaned from it. So what you learned from it. And you'll post that to a discussion board space. And then following that, I have an optional Zoom gathering. So do that every time that an individual assignment is due. So we'll meet before the due date for that individual homework assignment. And we'll spend about an hour together, and a couple of things I want to do during that meeting. 1, answer any questions that you might have about the case, and then 2, go over some practice exam questions that relate to this case that you might see show up on the term exam. So I'm going to kind of feed you those practice questions as we're going through the course as opposed to piling them all up at the very end. Okay, then you'll do that homework assignment after we meet. So that's the first kind of summative assignment that you have. It's a multiple choice true-false type of assignment that relates to what you have in the workbook and what you learned by putting the Excel file together. And then I give you one more shot at that case, and I ask you to work together in small teams. So I'll create those teams for you. You work together in small teams to refine your answers. So there's several, not only number crunching things you have to do, but also some written answers that you have to do. So I'd like you to work together as a group to refine those written answers, put your heads together, and kind of come up with the best possible solution. So it really gives you a chance to ask questions and brainstorm with each other and see what other people in your class are doing with the case. So each case kind of looks like that, right? You have the workbook, you'll have an Excel template, you'll have a chance to talk about what you learned, both in person and on a discussion board. You have a chance to do some practice questions with relation to the case, and then work together as a team. So every week you'll be working on a case and using that particular model. Okay, so you'll see the next thing that's up is the workbook. We already looked at that. And then the first thing after that is the first video. There it is. Okay, so this video is 34 minutes long. If you want to speed me up, which I kind of recommend you do, if you want to make that a little shorter, probably 1.5 would be just about right. But you can decide, you know, if you want to slow me down, you can slow me down too. But right now it's set at my regular talking speed, so how it was recorded. But know that feature is there if you want to use it. And of course you can expand these videos out to make them larger. And I hope that you find them useful. So the first one is a review of the learning objectives as well as all the key terms and concepts that you'll be learning in the class. Sometimes I've had students tell me they watch it before they do the case, and then they watch it again after they've done the case, and even after we've talked about it. And things really start to click. So you might find at the beginning of the class it's rather challenging content, but you're going to find that very quickly after maybe the first 2 or 3 cases, you start to get the hang of it and you start to see how this accounting stuff all comes together, and it begins to make a little more sense. It becomes a little easier. So there's the first video. And then these are the PowerPoint slides. So if you want those PowerPoint slides, you could download them. That's in the video. And then this is the second video. That's just a review of the case. So I walk you through the actual written elements and talk to you about what's given. There's the PDF file. Again, I'm only giving you that for the first one in case you don't have the book. So I expect that you're going to be able to get the book. It's at the bookstore, or you can also buy it on Amazon. This is a video, the third video, that walks you through how to do the Excel. Right, so you're going to be watching me walk through all the various tabs in the first case and in every case. Okay, there's your Excel template. So this is the template that you're going to download to do the case. And there's your discussion board. And then these are the practice test questions I give you for each case. We'll be going over these during our Zoom meeting. So a good idea to go through them yourself first and just kind of take a guess at what they are. I'm not grading these. They're just practice questions to give us a chance to talk to each other about the content and to go through them. Most of these are roughly 20 questions. Okay, this will be where you'll do the homework. So you can do that. And then this is the group submission. And you can see the rubric shows up there. There's one of the rubrics that you're going to be using for the class. And that's the end of it, right? So each one of your case assignments looks like that. So then it jumps to the second module. So you can go through the content like I just showed you, or you can come out here to the modules and click on each one of these individual links. So we just walked through this whole first module. Hopefully that gives you a good sense for what the course entails and how it's set up on Canvas. Of course, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. One of the areas that I'm not sure students utilize a lot, but I think is really interesting, is the syllabus area. And this will be the last thing I'll talk about in this video. Again, the syllabus is posted here. And then you see these shortcut links to all the various graded assignments that you have to do. And they're organized by due date. So that's the whole course right there. And I've published the whole thing, so you can see everything that's coming. And then this tells you the weights, so this is also in the syllabus, what weights are being assigned to the various assessments that you're taking. So the homework assignments are 10%, the discussions are 5%, the group work is 15%, the online presentations are 10%, and there are 3 exams. There's 2 term exams and a final exam. They're each worth 20% of your grade each. Okay. If you have any questions or any concerns about anything that I've shared so far, please let me know. Feel free to make an office hours appointment or send me a text or email message. I look forward to teaching the class